become a plasma bender, injecting through your prey with the Switch Axe. I'll show you how by guarding you through 3 levels of glorious carnage with tailor-made flowchart so that you can visualize the whole thing. Get started quickly and build from there, and level 1 will have you up and running in less than 1 minute. So set the timer and let's go. We have 2 modes, axe and sword switch between them with RT and if using Xbox controller and R2 if PlayStation. For the attack, an axe mode with Y, axe attacks to build your switch gauge. His is your sword mode battery. Once full, morph the sword mode and attack using circle. This depletes your switch gauge. Just don't let it get past this 30% line without topping it back up in axe mode. Enough sword mode hits, you also feel this amp gauge when full. The amp state will trigger doing more damage with sword attacks and getting access to some big sword mode finishes. So let's have some fun drill into the monster with a zero-sum discharge. Press and hold Y and B to latch on, then mass Y until you go flying off into the sunset, your landing axe mode. So top up your switch gauge and go back in for more, and this is level 1 of Switch Axe, the aim, get amped, and wreak havoc. Honestly, you can pause the video here and get going with just this place of doom. Please do watch to the end. You'll learn a lot more about the bigger picture and the cool stuff that we're gonna get up to, and it really helped my channel with the viewing statistics. Well, hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Oizies. It's so good to have you. I hope today I can get you pumped up for trying to switch axe now that intro was brisk. So let's take it easy for a minute and process what we just learned. Switch Axe is all about balance and brawn, knowing that you can do loads of damage in the sword mode, but you need to keep it powered with the axe. Honestly, axe mode is no slouch either. I mentioned how you don't want this switch gauge to go lower than the 30% marker. If this happens, it's not the end of the world. It just means you need to attack a bit in axe mode to get it to reset. Otherwise, attempting to morph straight back into sword mode will cause you to stand in place and reload. You look like a pleb, and all the bow gunners will be laughing at you. To be clear, the amp state doesn't take effect until the amp gate is full, at which point it will last for 45 seconds. Once it goes back offline, refit it like before. That said, look out for the weapon skill power prolonger. This progressively increases the length of your amp state and caps out at 90 seconds at level 3, which is probably one of the best quality of life choices you can make alongside earplugs. Quick word to the wise. The third move in the Axe Triangle combo, the Spiral Bear Slash, has quite a bit of commitment to it, so be careful to consider what the monster's doing, or you might get smacked like a fool. What doing a zero-sum discharge? The monster may decide to attack the part of the body that you are attached to. If this happens, you'll take some damage, but you won't get knocked off. Now this can be a blessing or a curse, cause multi-hit attacks can shred you to pieces. If it's looking dicey, stop mashing Y and dismount early. And while I don't normally do this, now is a really good point in the guide to talk a bit about gear. Your main reliable defensive option is to evade with a direction and A, but this can be quite a short distance, so look out for armor sets with the skill evade extender. This will be your best friend. You notice that switch axes come with different file types, donating the bonus damage or status build up you get from your amp state in sword mode, but the file type also influences the speed at which you build your amp gauge, with power files taking the longest. So I recommend starting with elemental files, 0.5s, and even say don't worry too much about the monster specific elemental matchups for now. Just make something and get on the way. By the way, I came up with a pretty cool in-game Switch Axe build. If you're keen to know more, let me know down in the comments and I'll make a video on it. Right, well done. I hope you're enjoying it so far. We have the zero-sum discharge as one of our sword mode finishes. Now let's start out level 2 with the other. Level 2. Get yourself all amped up with a hearty chunk of switch gate. Go into sword mode and do this simultaneously pressed RT, Y, and B, keeping RT held down until the move ends. This is the full release slash, and it looks freaking sick, man. Love this. It does tons of damage, and you automatically return to axe mode afterwards. For release slash is a great option for when the monster is caught in the trap or fallen over, or you know, do what I do and just spam it anyway, and hope for the best. Honestly, zero-sum discharge and full release slash are reason enough to love the switch axe to frack into a monster's hide while hitting a lift, or becoming a surging plasma sword of no maximum strength. Oh, and if you want to back out of a full release slash early while it's charging up, just release RT, and you'll do an unbridled slash instead. This is like a slash, but I'm bridled. What's more, Brutal Slash is available if Amp State isn't even activated yet, but just tapping RT, Y, and B together, and like, with full release slash, you end up back in axe mode. Okay, since Amp State powers up your sword mode, you might want to be boring and also have a few lower commitment options as well. So whether you an Amp State or not, use Y to do a series of slash attacks, the first of which is really handy if there's a tail over your head. And you want to get it pressing B after the first 2 attacks does the aforementioned double sash. However, if you press B after the third, you'll do a triple sash like with the double slash. The triple slash leads into the heaven with Flurry. The triple slash isn't too big of a deal by itself, but it will come up again later in some combos. At this point, you might be looking at a switch gauge and wondering what this Y is for. Well, when that comes in line, you'll enter Powerx mode. Powerx mode increases not only your axe mode damage, but also the speed at which you build your switch gauge. Great, how do we access it? Well, I'm glad I asked on your behalf. There are a few options. 1. Perform a sneak attack on the monster, a great way to start the fight with a bang. 2. 1. An axe mode. Repeatedly press B to start doing your wild swing, gradually costing some stamina at any point. After the first 2 swings, press Y to do an axe heavy slam, activating power axe mode. No, none of these have to actually hit the monster, so feel free just to swing at thin air, in the name of activating power axe mode. And number 3 is from your focus mode attack. Hold down LT to go into focus mode. From axe mode, find a wound and pop it with RB. You're doing attack, and then finish with a power axe finisher, bringing power axe mode online. Nice. Since we're on the subject of our focus attack, it can be a little odd to aim. Try and visualize the diagonal path that it takes, and if it doesn't work because it hits another body part first, don't worry, we've all been there forming your focus. Assault from sword mode similarly does an initial attack, but instead ends in an elemental discharge finisher for big damage. But the observant among you will notice the option midway to press RT. This swaps the outcome, so lets you go from an axe mode, focus yourself into an elemental discharge finisher. Great, if you're all powered up and just want to do some damage, or you can use it the other way to go from a sword mode straight into a power axe finisher. Perfect. If you notice your power axe mode has run out while you are in sword mode, bear in mind that whatever finisher you use, you'll end up in axe mode. One tip I give when playing solo, I like to keep 1 wound of the monster wherever possible, so that I can easily reset the power axe mode when I need to. Oh, and doing any of these options while the power axe mode is already active resets the timer, right? In all honesty, level 3 is not gonna be that much more switch acts. Isn't that complicated? As long as you can manage your switch gauge, you're all good. Also, if you've been enjoying this tutorial, it would help the channel so much if you gave it a like. Salamat po if you do also subscribe for more level 3. Evasion is your most reliable defensive option, but not your only one. Let's start with axe mode, the Y and B together to do your offset rising slash. Go get a feel for this outside of combat first, and notice the speed and path of the blade. If you can strike a monster with this as they are about to hit you, you might get an offset. They'll be sent reeling, and your hunter will automatically dash over to them. Then we have 2 options. Firstly, press Y to do a follow-up heavy slam. This activates Power X mode, so boom surprise. 4th option, alternatively press RB to do a morph slash. Great for when you want to use the opportunity to set up your sword mode moves. This offset attack is slow though, so you want to initially use it against moves that you can read well, or just throw it out randomly and hope for the best. The offset move won't happen every time. It does need a bit of build up after the first one, so it's not the most reliable defensive option, but it is fun, and if you can't have fun, then I can't help you. I'm not your babysitter, or am I over to sword mode, and this time it's way easier. As a monster attacks, press RB and Y to do a counter. This activates very quickly, so it's easy to access in a pinch. Careful though, the counter is automatic, so you are still vulnerable to immediate follow-up attacks. After the counter, you've got your usual follow UPS for sword mode, although interestingly enough, your circle option goes straight to Heavenward Flurry. How very holy of you to add another detail. After any of your 4 moves that activate Power Axe mode, immediately press RB to perform a special morph attack, the Morph Rising Double Slash. Curiously enough, following this up with a B will take you straight to the Sword Maid's Triple Slash. Oh, and this Morph Rising Double Stash is also available after your 3rd Y attack in Axe mode. Do with that what you will, my lord. Here is one final look at the flowchart, a perfect screen to pause on, so that you can come up with your own combos. I really hope this has been clear and helpful for me. The Switch Axe is not about being complicated. It's all about flow, balance, and blaze. And of course, spamming some cool moves. If Mighty Morphing is your bag, then check out my guy for the Charge Blade. Leave a comment in this video was helpful, take care, and I'll catch you on the other side.